So it's time for your final new construction walk, and you don't know where to get started? We're going to jump through some of the tips that we share with our clients when we're doing final walkthroughs on new constructions, and some of them you won't get anywhere else but right here. We're excited to be with you. Let's get into it. Yes! So hey, if you're dropping by for the first time, my name's Alex and I'm thrilled you're here. I'm a residential real estate agent here in Middle Tennessee with 23 years of experience, over $500 million in volume, and 1,100 families served. I love sharing great content like this, where we've been out in the market and things that we're doing with people just like you that we're working with in our market. We depend on people like you to introduce us to our very next clients. So if you're finding value here, please make sure you subscribe, and please do us a favor. The way we grow this channel is you sharing it with somebody, and especially you sharing it with someone that you know that's going to buy or sell in Middle Tennessee in the next year. Now, you don't have to just be in Middle Tennessee to help us out. You can help and support our channel if you happen to have a real estate need in the next 12 months and you need someone else like us where we don't serve. Well, good news. One of the other things that we do is we spend a ton of time working with other professionals just like us all the way across the country and the world. So we have tons of opportunity to make that introduction and help you find another partner and not go do that all out on your own. You'll have someone that you know and trust like us helping you get to the next person that is quite similar. And then it helps. The more people that are in the process, the better. It can help you reach your goals. But we're thrilled to be sharing great content like this. We hope you're enjoying it. Let us know in the comments below. But right now, let's jump back into it. Number one, first thing you want to do is check into some of the plumbing issues. And so plumbing, you want to go in and turn on every faucet and make sure hot and cold are going to each mixer. Make sure that the drains work and fill up. You want to fill up the sinks and the tubs about halfway to make sure that they hold water. And you want to run the dishwasher. You want to go downstairs and make sure the dishwasher is running and runs through a full cycle as you go to market. Now that's important because some of those things may have been installed several times on new construction walks with our clients. We've had two hot waters or two cold waters connected at a sink, and we need to go through and redo that. So those are one of the things you want to do for sure. Next, since you're in the kitchen running the dishwasher, you want to go ahead and check on the stove. Now this is one, if you have a gas stove, you want to make sure each one of them fires, make sure each one of the starters click through, and make sure that they're cleaned out because it could have had some construction debris get in there. Make sure that they go ahead and fire quite easily within 2 or 3 clicks or sparks, and that they have the ability to turn up and turn down. Often we find that there's either debris in the way, there's some adjustments that need to be made to it, or even they need to replace some of the grates or the little diffusers on top as far as the gas that comes through. So sometimes you can run into those issues where there's diffusers that are on there and they're actually, not pushing gas all the way through, and you got to get a different one. So make sure you test the gas appliances, like you say, throughout, but most importantly, the stovetop where it's firing and putting that gas out. Sticking with the kitchen, make sure you test the microwave. Now, there's lots of different types of microwaves in the market today, and so you want to make sure that you're out there testing that. So if you've walked in and you're doing a morning walk and you got your favorite local cup of coffee that you've got with you, give it a nice little warm up. Make sure that it's doing that. If not, you could just get a little cup and put that in there, get a little hot water action, and just make sure that it's actually heating and cooling properly. Look and make sure you know how to run it. We have a lot of different ones. There's now a lot of drawer microwaves that open all the way out, and you need to learn how to lock some of those features, right? So people don't put other things in the microwave and microwave them that they don't want to or that they shouldn't be. And so having that lock feature is important and learning how to do that, but make sure that it's plugged in right and working operationally. Next, going back to plumbing, you want to go back and make sure that those tubs have all filled, that they're holding water right. And you want to go ahead and make sure that when you're checking all those, go ahead and flush all the toilets. We've had stories of the past of toilets not working right. And if the toilets go wrong, that's a problem. And you're going to find out really quickly that we should have and done a little bit more thorough final walk. So make sure you go through, flush all the toilets, make sure they're removing waste. You can even put a little bit in there, tear off a couple little pieces of toilet paper, put them in there, and make sure that it's removing waste as well as filling back up and stopping and not running constantly. We had a story one time where we had a client that maybe they did it in their final walk or not, but when they went to sell their house 10 years later, we discovered one of the toilets in the house, thank goodness not one of the main ones, but it wasn't hooked up, the sewer line wasn't hooked up. And somehow in the construction process, the joint got hooked up at the bottom, but the toilet got set on top of it, and the bottom piece was never, so it was dumping underneath and into the house. It was crazy. It was a mess is what it was. So you always want to flush. You don't need to necessarily check to see that it's hooked up at the sewer, but you do need to make sure that it'll remove the waste, refill, and then stop running, because that's what the toilets are supposed to do. Okay, now let's check check the doors. Let's go start at the beginning, right? Go back to the front door and let's check the front. You want to make sure that you've got keys to the doors. You need to ask whoever's walking you through this, tell me about the exterior keys. Do I have custom keys? Have you had it rekeyed? Or is there a process that when we close, we get our own key and we can lock everyone out? Often in new construction processes, there's a master key and they may ask you not to tumble your locks so the master key can get access while they're finishing. But at some point you want to know in your walkthrough, when can I tumble or should I tumble or have my house rekeyed? Very, very important, and a tip probably won't get anywhere else but here. Now you want to go ahead and check on all your thermostats. Now thermostats, like many other things, are very complicated today in the market. Lots of different ones. The old days of the one that you just go back and forth with the mercury balance in the bottom, gone. Those are far, far away. And now we have lots of different ones that work different ways. And little did you know, you may need to make sure that there's lots of different choices and how to set them. You want to learn with that on-site walk how you set them, where you set them, and why you would do that. Little side tip here, one of our favorite things that we share in our final walk right here is to go ahead and find out the size of the air returns or the air filter for your central heat and air system and go ahead and order a whole bunch of them. Now here's why we tell people to do that. You want to go ahead and get 12 of them, the cheapest ones you can get, because you'll change them every single month. Go ahead and set the reminder in your phone to go ahead and change those every month. Now why would you do that? Well, because we've discovered with our vendors and with our clients that people buy the more expensive filters and they change them less frequently. They let one that's supposed to be a 3-month filter go for a year and a half. And that actually causes problems and strain on your central heat and air system. So we, through our partners, share this tip to make sure that our clients are actually going through the process and going ahead and changing them out. Set that reminder. If you happen to have a larger house and you have one of those whole house filtration systems where you have the bigger ones, you could do the same thing. That's what we have in our house, that we have 2 main ones that go actually with the system. And we order those. We order 3 of them at a time and we have them in the house ready to change. We put the date on them so we can remember, and then we set a reminder in the phone. So just a little tip for you, but that's the one that you really want to make sure you're doing when you're going through this walkthrough. Find out the size, go ahead and get them ordered, have them in the closet ready to go, and set that reminder on your phone. Your house will be better for it. It'll smell better. It'll be cleaner. It'll have less allergies, and it'll help the system have its best and longest life possible. So now you want to go through and check all the windows. Now, lots of different windows in the market. Some of them are stagnant. Some of them are casement. Some of them are double hung and open and closed different ways. Make sure you go through and learn how those work. Lots of different features on windows these days. So you want to know how to clean them, how to access them, how to make sure they lock, any special features they have, and make sure that they have the screens. Often around new construction, you'll find that the window screens are not installed, and this is an opportunity to ask the builder and their crews to go ahead and install the screens for you. The houses show cleaner without the screens on them, but you want it so you can have that fresh air intake, and it's a good opportunity to find out, 1, where they are, or 2, to ask them to go ahead and install those for you. So since we're talking about the outside, how about the irrigation? If you've got an irrigation system, you want to know where that hooks up, how that hooks up, and what that looks like on a regular, and what kind of maintenance you need on that, right? They may have the whole neighborhood comes through and they'll find a vendor that'll kind of give everyone a discount to come through and do volume, but especially in our part of the world in Middle Tennessee, we have to have ours blown out as the first freeze comes through, and a good, hard, consistent freeze, it can mess up our irrigation system. So when those come around, we see the vendors running around with air compressors behind their trucks blowing the systems out. So make sure you know where it is, you know what kind of schedule it's on, and how to work those systems. Since we're continuing with the outside, check the gutters. Make sure you've got gutters all the way around the house in the appropriate spaces, and downspouts, and then downspout splash guards at the bottom. Lots of different houses will actually have the downspouts tunneled into some underground tubing that'll allow it to diffuse more easily underneath the house and underneath the ground. But if it doesn't and it just terminates right there at the house, you want to make sure it's got a splash block that's kind of running the water out the other way. That's really important. One of the things we find often in reselling houses is we'll find that water just dumps right on the corner, and that's where you'll see some cracks happen, and you're just washing out the foundation, and you'll see foundations starting to soften around the corners. But make sure that it's got gutters, downspouts, and splash guards, or that it is tubed out and away from the house. All right, heading into the house, how about the garage, right? Is there a garage keypad? Do you know the code, and can you change it? Make sure that the stop sensors are good. Have someone go inside, start the garage, and have someone run their foot past the brake line there. Make sure those are hooked up, and that's important. You don't want to get mashed by the garage door with your car or people or pets. You want to make sure that that's working properly. It's a very important safety thing. Also, you probably will find in the garage while you're doing that walkthrough, you'll probably find the extra paint, and make sure that that's labeled. Now's a good opportunity to go ahead and label where it is. Is there extra paint? If so, if If not, where did the paint come from? Who was the manufacturer? And what was the job code? You want to go ahead and find out the job code, because then you can go get more paint from the exact place that had the exact brand and had the whole code, probably has it in their system about what color was used in each room. So another fantastic thing to find out at your final walk. And one of the last things as you're going into the house, check for your fireplace key. You're going to need a gas key to actually turn the fireplace gas on to it. And then how does the fireplace work? Is it spheres? Is it logs? Is it just a gas starter? Lots of different options in fireplaces, and finding out how to work it, how to light it, and to show that it's working properly. We've had several situations where it wasn't working right, or there were leaks in it. It was just installed and never really hooked up. But also find out right now, does your flue, is it rated for wood, or is it just gas only? There's different kind of actual chimneys and flues that are different temperature rated inside of there. So make sure you find that out in your final walk. So there we are, some of our favorite tips that we share with our clients about new construction walkthroughs. Which one surprised you? Which one had you not heard of before? Let us know in the comments below. Or if we missed one, let us know in the comments. We love hearing from you. And listen, my name is Alex, and I am your friend in real estate in Nashville. I'm here to help with this and love sharing great tips and tricks just like this. The way you can help us is having comments, like it, and like we said before, please share this with the 2 people you know that are going to be doing real estate business sometime, one in Nashville and one somewhere across the country, that we can help build our channel, stay in touch, and keep bringing great things just like this. We look forward to hearing from you, and until we connect again, keep on keeping on. We'll see you soon.